again, YouTube. This is Nolen-John, Nolen-John, family of Zander, coming at you from the new 9 Elements YouTube channel. This is a direct response to Alex Porg. You put in the comments you would wish to know a little bit more about QHHT and the Delores Canon's methodologies. My take on that is a fantastic opportunity for people to heal and to find out what your mission is here. There's a lot of talk in the spiritual communities about what is my passion and purpose in this life, which I wrote a book on. It's in my Habituating Happiness book, it should be published by January 15. With Delores Canon's method of hypnosis, it's a regression technique that takes you back to your teenage years, through your childhood years, to your infancy, and to your position between death and life, right? Hypnotic regression can go back into past lives as well, but this particular technique focuses on the window between death and this life. Whereas you can go in and ask questions and ask for healings on particular items that you're having trouble with. Now, you have to understand and comprehend that in the Bible, there was one woman that Jesus did not heal. He did not heal this woman because she did not learn from her disease. She was resentful and spiteful on everyone and everything. She blamed the disease that she had, and Jesus did not heal her. Okay? He did not heal her because she did not learn her lesson. So if you have something that you need healed, if you have something that you need to learn, some of those things, if you have not learned them, you will not heal and you will not move on. So you need to contemplate those a lot longer in order to move forward with your spiritual journey. So the Delores Canon method works. It works very well. It is a first attempt, or a first in a hypnotic technique to contact the higher self. So it's one of the first techniques that have been written about and talked about outside of doing the meditations in the monastery and the monks and doing all this other stuff. Okay? And the Delores Canon technique takes a bit of money and can be done in a few hours, in a few days, depending on if you have to set up an appointment and such like that. So does it work? Yes, it does. Have I done it? No, I have not, but I know personally people that have, and they've had fantastic results once they got a practitioner that could get through and punch through to the higher self. Sometimes, it's hit or miss. Sometimes the practitioner isn't skilled enough. Sometimes the individual going under the hypnosis is just not ready, right? One, you have to be ready for hypnosis. You have to look at my video on how to prepare yourself for hypnosis. So before you go to a hypnotist, there's certain things that you need to do if you're really serious about getting hypnotic regression, which is what Delores Canon's method is. It's a hypnotic regression technique. So in order to get the most out of your session, the most bang for your buck, you're going to have to follow the simple things in the video. You have to relax. You have to know how to relax. You have to know how to relax quickly. You have to quiet yourself and quiet your mind. Don't drink a lot of caffeine. Go in there expecting to get into a trance. Already comprehend what a trance is. Maybe you want to do some meditations, which I'll be teaching in this channel and on my new websites. I'll be having courses on these techniques in order for you to easily and quickly get into a trance state. So back to Delores Canon. So you're concentrating on the difference between death and life. Or sorry, not the difference, but the time frame, if you want to consider it a linear time frame based on this reality. The time frame between your previous or your last life before you came to this one, which is death, and then your new birth in this reality which is life. So you get regressed to that point. You ask for healings. You ask for answers to questions that your higher self is going to respond to. But you have to comprehend that not the entire purpose, but the major purpose for this reality is free will. You have to read between the lines when it comes to people of the higher self. You look at some of the old-time movies and the old-time things about the Kung Fu masters and the people in the East. Well, they answer your question with another question. And your higher self can do that too, because the whole purpose of this reality is for you to learn. The teacher does not always give the answers. You have to find them for yourself. So can you get healed? Yes, if you have learned that lesson. What has this dis-ease taught me? What is the answer to this question? Well, it depends on your life experiences, really. What is the purpose of your life? What is your passion? Are they linked? Mostly they are, right? Way back when, if you could do anything, which, if you read my book, Habituating Happiness, it'll go through the steps. If you could do anything, regardless of money, you didn't need money. You didn't need to sleep. You didn't need to eat. You needed nothing. What is it? What is that one or two things? What is that panoramic, or that drill down view of a photograph? Not a microscopic view, but a photograph of, if you could do anything that you wanted to, what would be that thing? Right? And how can you monetize that in this reality, in this now? Because in the future, probably about 50 to 100 years, and more than likely we'll be back on the barter system. We're probably not going to be using at least paper dollars, or Bitcoin for that matter. So what is that thing, or that group of things that you would do for free? Or, because money, honestly, is a side effect of your passion. As you look around in today's society, you see all these so-called wokeology things going on. It's people trying to wake up to something, but is getting bombarded by hypnotic methodologies, and other instances of government and or other parties' control over those individuals to hoard them in a particular direction and do a particular thing. That's called mass hypnosis. But once again, I'm rambling off on a rabbit hole. Delores method, if you have the chance to do it, I'd say do it. You could help a lot of people. You can heal a lot of people. If you're a practitioner, if you're going there to get a regression for regression therapy, I highly recommend that as well. But be prepared. Okay? You don't want to go there and spend the money and then get a level 1 practitioner and they're having a little bit of trouble. You may have to come back several times, right? If you really want to solve your problem, get a level 2, level 3 practitioner and move forward and go there with the intent on solving your issues. Okay? This is not Tony Robbins NLP. This is not your standard clinical hypnosis techniques. This is you bypassing your ego, or your earth guide only, is bypassing your ego and talking directly through your subconscious to your higher self. It can be dangerous, it can be scary, but it is exponentially effective. So go get, if you're interested, call up or contact somebody that's a QHHT practitioner in your local area, or even if you have to drive 100 miles, I'll tell you it's worth it. But you better go there with the preparation underway of meditation, quieting your mind, talking to the practitioner over the phone before you head all the way out there. I would prefer to do it. I am a people person. I would prefer the individual to be there in order to do the hypnotic regression techniques. One, doing stuff over the phone. As a master hypnotist, and I'm sure you at least know about hypnosis, you cannot hypnotize somebody over the phone very effectively. What if, I got a curtain back here. What if somebody comes through that curtain, right? I don't know what my client is doing, or whether or not they have children or a dog or a phone that they didn't shut off, right? So I don't know what's going to happen during that 1 hour session. If an individual or somebody else comes in at the wrong time, instead of healing the individual, I traumatize the individual even further at a particular point in hypnosis. Okay? So controlling the environment is extremely important. So go to the individual and set up an office visit with them. Is it more expensive to do it that way? Yeah, but you get what you pay for. Do you actually want to heal? Or do you want to go talk to the doctor and freaking throw painkillers down your neck for the rest of your life? So, Delores Cannon, QHHT methods, fantastic. Results are pretty much guaranteed, one way or the other. Make sure that you want to be healed. Make sure that you've learned the lessons. Before you go there, ask yourself the questions. What has this taught me about myself? How does compassion fit in, right? How does knowledge fit in? Go through the graces, which I'll have to write another book on the graces. The graces are in the Bible. Jesus talks to them a little bit, but most churches they use them, I would say, wrongly. But with like a childlike use of something, they don't know exactly what they're talking about or what they're using it for. They know it works and they know that it helps. They just don't know the intricacies of it. Okay. Go through the higher vibrations. Go to Power versus Force, the book. Go to Power versus Force and look at the scale of the emotions, right? The emotional scale will show you what most of the graces are. So go through the upper level emotions, as some of the graces are there. And then you have the knowledge. You have the compassion, the technologies or the graces that are used to figure out exactly why you have this dis-ease or this issue that you have, or this question even. Can you answer the question without talking to the teacher? Well, yes, you can, but it does take some deep diving, right? Einstein, I believe, quoted, but this is a misquote because I'm not going to quote it word for word. Basically, if I had 1 hour to answer a question, right, the first 55 minutes, I would contemplate the question. Because once I find the right question to ask, then the answer will be forthcoming and be the right answer. So too many people run around asking questions not related to the answer that they're searching for. Those are the things that you need to take into account when you go to a hypnotist or a past life regressionist. As you know, as myself as a master hypnotist, and people come into the office, I give them a questionnaire check sheet. It's like, where is your issue? And they end up circling the entire sheet. I got all these problems, man. No. It just, you don't, right? Or you want me to solve your particular issue, but it has nothing to do with what you think. Man, I just need to stop smoking. Well, okay, why did you start smoking in the first place? Because we have to go back to that point where you started smoking and find the reason. You know, you're 45 44 years old or something like that. You started smoking when you were 16. Why? You probably don't remember. So we'll have to do a regression technique to get you back to that point to find out why. You wanted to fit in. You wanted to look cool. You wanted to impress somebody in particular, right? Most of those factors are now gone. You're just smoking because you're smoking. We have to go back to that time frame and find out why you did it, who you did it for, right? And how to get rid of that. Are those individuals or are those things still in play? And the answer is most likely going to be no. Okay? But we have to have you consciously realize the reason why you're smoking is no longer the reasons why you're smoking. You're smoking because you got used to it, right? That person that you were trying to impress ran off with the milkman, right? That group that you wanted to be cool in, well, you went to college and now you're in a different city or a different state. Okay, so that group is no longer there. The reason why you started smoking to be cool is that group is gone, or the group is way back there, and you've moved on, right? So why you're doing something is extremely important. So you have to go back to those. Okay. I hope this answers your question. I did ramble on quite a bit, but this one's for you, Alex. So I hope I did not butcher your name too much, but hopefully that answered your question. If not, just put another comment down there, and we'll hash that out a little bit more. And, of course, I'll probably blabber on for another, 16, 17 minutes. All right, Alex, I hope that answered your comment question, as you are probably one of my very few subscribers, if you still are. I'll answer your question. If it gets a little bit too big and I have like 1 million subscribers, I'm probably not going to be able to do this. So, yeah. I hope your question has been satisfied, and I hope that you have something to do with QHHT and move forward with it if that's the case. If you need my recommendation, I'd definitely give it, right? But also understand, anybody else, this is 9 Elements YouTube channel for the purpose of bridging science and spirituality, and also for habituating happiness. And thank you all for tuning in, and don't forget to be happy.